I'm on 101.1 FM. Of course, a platform where we promote values and excellence. I want to welcome you to another edition of Data Space. And you know what we do here? We make data make sense. My name is Esther, okay? And unusually today, we have the presence of Professor Olubusoye Olusonya from the Department of Statistics, University of Ibadan. Welcome, sir.
Thank, thank you very much. It's nice to be here as usual.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Yeah. Today, last week we spoke about how numbers relate to um, stories and how stories relate to numbers, and you made it explicitly clear that there is no number without story, and there is no story without number. So today we will just
No,
continue
no credible story
story without
without.
number. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay, so today, Professor Olubusoyi, when we talk about problem solving,
yeah.
um, what does a data-driven approach mean, especially for local issues we face in places like Ibadan? Today we'll be talking about making a difference with data, a guide to data-driven problem solving. So that is what we'll be looking at today. So in the light of that, what are the, problem solving? What does data does in problem solving? So,
Thank you very much. So basically, what we are trying to address today uh, is about data-driven problem solving. In other words, we want to talk about how we can solve problems um, using data. So a data-driven approach is basically about using facts and evidence to understand a problem before we try to solve the problem. Sometimes we assume we know the solution to a problem, uh, but that solution may not be based on facts, may not be based on available evidence. And so when you solve a problem without using the data driven approach, you may not get the optimal solution to the problem. The first thing is to think about data when there is a problem to be solved. That is the advocacy we are trying to make. That uh, and we have one problem or the other to solve on daily basis,
actually,
individually, at the
collectively,
community level, at even the national level, even global level. There are myriads of problems, but solving these problems without utilizing the power of data. Sometimes I use the word the extraordinary power of data.
so data has extraordinary power.
In fact, highly powerful
Hmm.
when it comes to solving uh, human problems,
Problems.
environmental problems, uh, whatever problems you can ever imagine. And I can quickly give you a few, even in this Ibadan, problems that we face almost every
Every
day
day.
that we can solve
Okay.
using data.
Okay.
I'm sure you have encountered traffic congestion
Very well.
huh?
Very, very well.
In major
Parts.
road junctions.
Yes.
Uh, we can use data to solve this kind of problem. Uh, in Ibadan, waste management has always been
An issue.
an issue, very pestering issue. So this is a typical problem that data can be used to, I would say, expand on some of them.
Okay.
Another one is even our public services and social related issues. Uh, in the area of public health, you know, you need data to monitor prevalence of diseases in different communities. You need data to monitor vaccination rates,
Okay.
to assess healthcare facilities, and so on. Um, Education, in the area of education, uh, you need data to monitor school enrollment, student teacher ratios, and a host of other things, including uh, if you are interested in solving crime and security related problems, right? So data, you know, um, can help to solve these problems, you know, in a very decisive way.
Decisive way. All right, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and thank you for this guide on how to make data useful in our day-to-day activities. We want to move to the step-by-step guide now.
Yeah,
Okay, so for our listeners who wants to apply this to their own community or personal projects,
yeah.
what is the first step in data-driven problem solving process? What are the steps they will take
Okay.
while making use of data-driven problem solving process?
So to use data-driven approach, there are
Okay,
several approaches to solving problems.
okay.
If a young girl is looking for husband, I mean, you could go to a
Different
prophet,
places.
you could go to
You could go to church,
seers, you could go to
actually,
mountaintop.
mountains.
So it's a problem, and
Yeah,
you could have several approaches to solving
with
that
them.
problem. Um, and so, but for data-driven approach, data is at the center of the solution. And so the first thing to do is to define the problem you want to solve.
So,
So if the problem is carefully defined, carefully formulated, you know, and the objectives are, you know, clearly stated, so that will help. That goes a long way in data-driven approach to solving problems. So the first thing, to answer your question more precisely, is to define the problem, you know, with the data you need. In other words, you, you know, link the problem with the data requirements. So before you can solve a problem, you need to understand it, and then you then use data to quantify the problem states. It tells you the gravity, data tells you the gravity of the severity of the problem,
problem you're
the
solving.
the 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 intensity of the problem. So, for instance, if instead of just saying traffic is bad on ring road, uh, so you collect data on travel time during different hours of the day,
Mhm.
and then or collect data on the number of vehicles passing through uh, that junction, that road. You collect the data at different times of the day,
The
the
appointment
rush
moment,
hour,
rush hour.
and so on. then you monitor that. And that helps you to turn what you may be a vague issue to a measurable, problem. Uh, if you recall in our last discussion,
Yeah.
the emphasis is always to attach numbers, you know, in your story.
In your story. Yeah, that was
That
what we
makes your
discussed.
story
Precise
precise.
and
That makes
reliable.
your story credible and reliable.
Reliable.
If you simply say that there is traffic is bad in a particular area, you have not really that
How sure are
statement
we
is
that the
that
statement
that
is
statement
true?
is vague.
Vague. You need to
You
provide
need to now
evidences.
attach measurable quantity, something in terms of number
Numbers.
to make it appealing. If you say I'm old, that also is vague
Yeah.
because by looking at
You are
me,
not old, sir. You are not being old.
no, I'm
You are still very young.
okay. If I say you are young,
Yes.
good. That statement will be more precise when I attach age.
Age.
If I say you are in this age group, then it tells me
Whether I am young
whether
or
you are
not.
young or not. So that is, the kind of thing in building your story, in solving your problem. The starting point is to collect data to be able to understand the severity of the problem. How serious is the problem? How deep is the problem? How no uh, how severe
Super.
is the problem? Is number that will tell us. That is the first thing. You define the problem with data.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, you emphasized on defining problem properly before you embark on your problem solving processes. So now I want to know, and I know our listeners out there too wants to know, once the problem is clearly defined, what's the
Great.
next step
The
to
next
take?
the next step, as I said, is to gather the requisite data,
Mhm.
the relevant data.
Data.
Once you clearly, I mean, any problem, the solution starts from defining it. And once you are able to define it, then you start collecting data to really understand the 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 problem. So the second step is data gathering, data collection, and we have discussed this in our previous episode.
Episodes, yeah,
Different ways by
to gather
which you can
data.
collect your data, you know. Uh, but we always emphasize, ethical, practices when it comes to data collection,
Collection.
right? So um, don't collect data to suit the idea that you already conceived,
Hmm. True.
because you could deliberately collect your data to agree with the belief
Believe
you
that you have
already know, you already knows in your mind, or that your forefathers
have
already
told you
told you.
the moonlight stories that you
Yes,
listened
so
to.
so if you are objective and you allow ethical, best practices
Mm-hmm.
to, guide your data collection, then you are already on the path to solving the problem.
Problem. Wow.
So be objective, don't be biased in the way you gather your data. So if you are trying to solve a typical problem around school enrollment, and you are visiting households to know the children that are out of school
School,
in those
those who are in
households,
school.
and you choose to focus on your, you know, your immediate family households, or your religious uh, you know group only, or your, one section of the community, or one section of the, you won't have a representative, knowledge of the prevailing situation. So what we always encourage is that, look, be be fair, be objective in the way you collect your data. Don't be biased. That is very, very important. So the second step, to summarize, is collect the requisite relevant data. Remember the first, I always like us
Go over it.
to define the problem,
Problem. Second one
collect
is gather
data.
relevant data.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. So, in correspondence to all that you've said, after I have the data, what do I
Yes.
do with it actually?
You are not going to eat the data.
It's not edible.
So, but you are going to process the data.
Sure.
And he also here, we've talked about how you prepare your data, how you check for inconsistencies in the data, how you clean the data before you now go to the analysis. So essentially, after data collection, the next step is analysis. But this analysis also includes data preparation, data cleaning, and so on and so forth, including generating summary statistics, descriptive
Visualization.
statistics. I think we've also talked about data visualization
Visualization.
in this. So data visualization helps you to see patterns, whether, you know, uh, females are more susceptible to the problem, or
Or male.
whether, yes, so you look at demographic uh, characteristics, as related to the problem. So the analysis helps you to discover where the problem is happening. So it helps
Okay.
you to settle down, to locate the most affected group,
Group.
huh? So that your intervention is carefully packaged towards those groups.
All right.
I hope I'm able to
Sure,
make
sure. You're
myself
making
clear.
yourself clear.
So analysis is also very sensitive, and again, people can, you know, they can deliberately, you know, falsify results from analysis to meet their already preconceived notion.
No, sure.
Yes. So
All right. After we have found insights,
yes,
what then can we call the final stage?
the final stage actually is to, you know, from the analysis, you are going to discover where the problem lies.
All right.
You are going to discover the most, affected group.
You made mention of that.
So the fourth step actually is to propose solution
Okay.
based on the findings you in
You
your
got
analysis,
already.
right? So not only to propose solutions to also, you know, uh, give suggestions on how to implement the
The
solutions.
solution.
So you make, you come up with, what we would call recommendations,
Okay.
and then you also, provide the process, you guide as to the, process to follow to be able to implement the proposed solutions, right? So the benefit here is that the data helps you to package the solution towards meeting the needs of the target group, so that you don't keep on, you know, you don't solve a problem that exists in Kano and be implementing the same solution for a problem that does not exist
In Ibadan.
in Ibadan, or a problem that exists in Agbowo. You don't have a blanket solution to solve similar problem in Bodija, but of less,
Severity.
yes, in terms of degree,
Mm,
right? So this the fourth step is you propose, workable solutions and how to implement the solutions.
All right, thank you very much. You're still listening to Diamond 101.1 FM. Don't forget, we are still on Data Speaks, where we make data make sense with Professor Olusoya Olubusoye. But we are moving on to the real world impact now. We've learned about finding problems, you know, the insight, defining the
The problem,
problem, connect
gathering the
the data.
data,
We spoke,
analyzing the
yes,
data.
insights. We spoke about purpose and
Yes,
implementation
yes,
of the
yes.
solution.
Generating solution
Sure.
from the analysis and also making recommendations on how to implement the solutions.
Okay, this process seems incredibly powerful.
Yes.
And can you please give us examples of how a community has used data to solve a real problem here in Nigeria? You made mention of looking at our own geopolitical zone or our own particular area.
Yeah.
You said we cannot use a data collected in Kano to
Yeah.
implement something here in Ibadan.
Yeah.
So we want to know how we can use data to solve real life problem, especially here in Nigeria.
Great. So let me even, before we go to community, individuals make up the community, right?
Actually.
So and individuals do have problem.
Mhm.
I have seen many young ladies and even men, struggling to keep fit,
Mm. Yeah.
struggling to keep fit. Maybe they think they are obese, too whatever. So you can use data even without using drug.
Mm. Let's have
So
it.
yes, so a person with a fitness tracker, for instance,
Okay.
you have these
The app on your
devices,
phone.
you know, you can collect data using those devices to track and collect data on the steps, number of steps,
Take.
every day, your heart rate,
Mhm.
your sleep patterns. All these smart devices, can give you, you know, very useful data about how your organs and system, how they work. And then you can analyze the data. So the individual can identify pattern. For instance, I always advise people who go to hospital that when you do your test, don't just leave the result in the clinic.
Take it along.
Collect your own copy of the result.
Hmm.
When they do your BP, take the data and have a spreadsheet, just Excel spreadsheet. First column, put the date. Next column, put the BP measurement.
Abi?
The upper one in one column, the lower. Then keep collecting this data over time.
And you see if you're
Then
improving
you
or
will be
not.
able to see how your body is operating, how your organ, your BP, how it's fluctuating. You are able to monitor when you go and they measure your you take you go for malaria parasite test, right? Sometimes one plus,
Mhm.
huh?
Yes.
Two pluses, so on like that. When you come, go to your spreadsheet also. Write the date you took the test, and then write the number of pluses you recorded in the test. And do that next time you had another,
Malaria
malaria
fever.
fever, and you you and you take the test is conducted, and you keep doing that. So if you Google now, there are so many people they talk about personalized
True.
data about yourself. I also
Yourself.
do it myself. Let me tell you some of the things I do personally,
Okay. Maybe we
right?
can learn from
You
that.
can learn from me. Now, every I receive uh, from my subscribe network subscriber,
Yes.
I get alert about my data usage.
True.
And even if I don't get the alert, I can always go to the phone
And check.
and check, or go to the app and check. So I have a spreadsheet where I record my daily data usage. If you want to see it, I will show you.
Maybe after the
Two,
I
I
want to
also
see.
have in that spreadsheet daily basis, I record my odometer, car odometer.
Hmm.
That helps you to monitor the kilometer you cover
Cover
on daily
company.
basis. So as I'm talking now, I know how many kilometers it takes me to drive from my home to
Okay.
office and back. So I've traveled to many places, and by recording my odometer, I'm able to get accurate distance in kilometer of cover. And at the same time, I also monitor my fuel usage. So I'm able to link my fuel usage to distance covered. And that helps me also to understand the fuel efficiency of my car,
Okay.
right?
True.
So even recently now, uh, I started monitoring my energy consumption. So I read my meters, my meter, the digital meter,
Meter, right?
read it in the morning
And at
and
night.
at night. So you could monitor daily consumption and night consumption. Do you think I'm not data driven?
You are.
Uh,
In
so
fact, that was what I was about saying. That should I say? Is it because you're a professor of
yeah,
statistics?
because
That is why you are making use of this data. effectively
You have
because
to practice what to
what you
preach.
teach actually.
You have to practice what to teach. So I have data on virtually every aspect of my life that I can also capture. And I've also extended that even to my church.
Hmm.
So we could, on every
Service day.
service day, take attendance,
Mhm.
even without members knowing we are taking the attendance.
Wow.
Also record offerings and I created a dashboard for the
Right.
elders to be able to see how money are
Comes
generated,
in.
how money is generated, right? So you are even my students, I have a dashboard
For them.
for them that because they will register for the course, I have a form already designed for them. And I can describe the various groups in that class, percentage of the class that are female, male, and I also have their JAMB results, which they submitted. I have um, their post UTME results and the weighted average.
Oh,
My goal is to link all those results with the final performance in my course. So I'm able to see how you know uh, performance in post UTME or in JAM,
jam.
you know, connect to
What you're
or
teaching.
is related to the course that I'm teaching.
Hmm.
So that's at the individual level. You could also have problems at the community
Community
level,
level.
and there are so many examples. In a community facing security issues, which is common, yeah, residents can use data-driven approach to solve and combat this crime-related thing. How would they do it? You know, they can create a log, you um, just use a spreadsheet where they will record every incident, the date, hmm, and the type of incident that occur, crime incident that occur,
Common.
maybe they burgle into the house, maybe wherever, they
Kidnapping.
now wherever. So the incident is recorded. The time the incident happened is also recorded.
Recorded.
The location, the particular house or the address where it happened is also recorded. So at the end, you can create what we call visualization map, and that would tell you areas that are mostly affected by by burglaries, where burglaries happen most frequently. They can also tell you which day of the week
It happened.
that these burglars often carry out their missions. Is it on Tuesdays or Wednesdays like
Wednesdays.
this? Is it on Sundays? Is it on Fridays? Is it in the night? Is it during the daytime?
Just to track their
You,
activities.
you data will tell you.
Hmm.
Data will tell you, and then you will be able to find the right solution
So the
to
problem
the
on hand.
problem. It's when we underestimate the power of data
Hmm.
that we suffer severe consequences.
Okay.
And
True.
that is also what is happening to us as a nation. It's because our problems are not solved using data. That's why we are suffering. When we cannot even count ourselves, we can't say
Sales
precisely
adequately.
this is how many we are.
Hmm.
Then how do we care? How do we cater for the children that are not born, the unborn children? when those who are living.
I've not even had enough.
No, it's not even about not having enough, not even being not being known they exist. Government does not know that they exist. So how much more those who are
Not
unborn?
unborn.
Because if you know those who exist,
Be able to make
you
provisions
make
for
provision for them.
them and
But when you lack knowledge, information about, no, how many exist, where do they even exist? Huh?
yeah.
Then it's difficult to make any provision that will solve their problems. So that is also at at the government level. So I've talked about
The
individual
individual,
level,
community level,
community
and
level,
the government
and the government
level.
level. So I always encourage our listeners to take time to collect data about yourself. Collect data about yourself. Even when you can monitor your health, your fitness, you can monitor your daily habits when you eat your breakfast. Would you like to start doing that?
Yes,
So every day,
I'll start doing
record
that.
the time you take your breakfast, the time you take your lunch, the
Hmm.
time you take
Take your
your dinner
dinner,
before you go to sleep,
sleep.
and see how consistent you are in your daily routine.
All right, thank you very, very much. It's evident that Prof is a prof of statistics. Thank you very much for that insight, that teaching, and that exposition. All right. What are the common pitfalls that people face while they are trying to use the data-driven approach? Because when you want to embark on anything, whether a community project, an individual project, or anything, there are certain problems we face while trying to get that done. So we want to know the common pitfalls that people tend to face while trying to apply this data-driven approach.
Yeah, so the most common one is this you know attitude uh, to data,
Hmm.
because sometimes our attitude shows that we fear data, that data will expose us.
Hmm.
Even as an individual, you fear that know, monitoring your expenditure on daily basis, how much you spend,
We
monitoring
expose
how
your wasteful spending.
will expose you. That's one major problem. This, you know, um, our attitude, our culture to data. You know, we need to really work on that. Uh, then our belief system. Um, People often find some data that confirms their existing belief, and they stop there,
Hmm.
right? They jump to conclusions. They just, don't bother to. But it's crucial to look at all the data, be open to surprise findings. When through your data, you find solutions that seem to be counterintuitive, which means solutions that doesn't conform with your long-term
Hmm.
belief, then you are likely going to fall, you are going to experience this pitfall,
Okay.
right? And sometimes also people prefer to cherry pick evidence. What I mean by
Like
that
cherry
is
picking.
that, yes, if they If the analysis show this, then because that solution does not interest them or does not conform to their belief,
They don't take to it at
they
all.
will refuse to follow that.
Hmm.
And it happens a lot, not at individual levels, even at
At community level,
corporate, community, and so
government
on.
level, it
Community,
happens everywhere.
particularly among the politicians.
Politicians, they just cherry pick what they want
So,
and just leave the
because
rest.
their priority is to satisfy their own, no,
Selfish interest.
don't let me say selfish interest. It could be to satisfy their political interest
Interest, okay.
because they are coming back to seek for your,
Your
no,
help and your
yeah.
votes.
So they will ignore, no, verifiable evidence and do something outside that.
Okay.
For instance, they want to a community is having problem, a
Hmm.
myriad of problems, security problems, educational problem, water problem, infrastructure, road problem. But politicians will not collect data
Based on that.
from the community to prioritize
Hmm.
their needs. But the one they can do is
They
so
just pick the
they
one
will
they
pick
can do.
borehole, and borehole will be there, the community, because borehole is not the priority. Maybe electricity is the
Is the
most
priority.
pressing
Need
problem.
in that
So you
community.
see how we deliberately avoid evidence, using data, you know, as against our own, political interest, personal interest, if you now use that one, fine, or religious, beliefs. Do I answer you?
Yes, you have. Thank you very much. This session has been incredibly insightful, and we want to say a very big thank you for all that you've shared, for shedding light on how we can make use of data effectively. You have shown us that data is not just an academic exercise, it's a practical tool for positive change. Thank you very much. For these questions about data problem solving approach or any other statistical queries, stay tuned for our statistical clinic on air in just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Department of Statistics, University of Ibadan. So we launched right away into the statistical clinic on air so of the Department of Statistics, University of Ibadan.
Thank you very much. We are from university, from the Laboratory for Interdisciplinary Statistical Analysis, University of Ibadan. And the lab is popularly called UI LASA. So the lab is created in 2015 and is a member of the global, statistical laboratory uh, network called LISA 2020 network. And the headquarters is in the University of Colorado Boulder, that's United States of America. So in the lab, our vision basically is to build statistics and data science capacity in Nigeria. And our mission is to train early career statisticians and make them to be interdisciplinary collaborators, which means as a statistician, you should be able to work with media people like I'm working with
Yes, sir.
Esther. You should be able to work with medical experts. So we emphasize interdisciplinary. So I've worked with economists, with medical experts. I've worked with, even currently with linguists, those in the Department of
Linguistics.
Linguistics. So we encourage, you know, uh, interdisciplinary collaboration. We train students, not necessarily from statistics,
From every
from
department.
any discipline for that matter. What do we train them at? We train them on how they can collect data, credible data, how they can process the data, how they can analyze the data, how they can communicate the results of the data, and how they can also practice as a statistical consultant, so that even after graduation, you don't need to start to apply. So, in this age, with your skill, data science, which is also our major area, to build data science skills, data visualization skill, data analytical skill among our students. Apart from training, we also do work implementation,
Consultation.
which means any researcher, um, any any corporate entity having problems can easily walk to our lab, and then we can guide how to use data-driven approach to solve. If the problem is lack of sales, we can use data-driven approach to boost the revenue of the uh, organization.
So market women too.
So market women, in fact, at the time we were even uh, visiting them. We visited many small scale enterprises around Agbowo area, those who do this small business, how
Businesses.
they can enter their daily sales. You know. Some of them have phone, they have laptop and
Thoughts
so on. Even if they don't have, the children have,
of
they can record their sales
daily sales to
and
see
see
how
pattern. Who are the major, customers? Are they females? Are they
females.
males? Are they elites? Are they young people? Are they old people? And then that helps you to see how you package your product, to those most important group of customers. So we do all of this. We've collaborated with the INEC before, as Independent National Electoral Commission, to see how we can use data to understand why people are not participating in the election. People take time to participate in registration, but when it comes to the election proper, see, in a place where you have millions of voters, just a few hundred will show up to. So what's the problem? So we develop a policy that in collaboration the with INEC. So these are some of our activities. I'm glad my colleague is here, who is going to start working the lab. This is Kafayat uh,
Good,
Alobaloke.
good
Alobaloke.
to have you around.
It's good to have you.
Yes. So on this note, we'll be drawing the curtain today, and we want to say a very big thank you to every our listener out there for tuning into Data Speaks on Diamond 101.1. Of course, a platform where we promote values and excellence. Join us next week, same time here on Diamond 101 to explore another fascinating world of data. Good afternoon.